The news broke on a nondescript Wednesday in April, yet Dr. Ilara Miles heard it like a whisper lost in the roar of her university lab. The multiverse gateway, a breakthrough heralding the dawn of cross-universe travel, promised a new era of exploration. To the world, it was a miracle. To Ilara, a potential catastrophe cloaked in brilliance. Ilara's skepticism didn't stem from disbelief in the technology. Her own theories had skirted the edges of similar possibilities, but from the gnawing fear of what lay beyond. Each universe, a reflection skewed by the choices made or unmade, held not just the promise of scientific enlightenment, but a Pandora's box of existential risks. When a secretive organization known simply as the Consortium approached her, they didn't just offer an opportunity to explore, they presented it as an obligation to safeguard humanity. Dr. Miles, the envoy said, his voice a smooth, rehearsed calm, "You have the unique blend of expertise and caution we need. This isn't just exploration, it's reconnaissance." 2 weeks later, armed with her doubts and a compact device that buzzed with silent, ominous energy, Ilara stood before the shimmering portal. The lab around her buzzed with the energy of a beehive, but the air felt cold, sterile, like the calm before a storm. As the portal stabilized, showing glimpses of a city where glass towers defied gravity and gardens floated mid-air, her heart raced, not with excitement, but with a primal, penetrating chill. Crossing the threshold, Ilara felt the universe shift, a subtle but unmistakable twist in her reality. She was no longer just Dr. Ilara Miles. She was a voyager between worlds, stepping into a role that might one day be remembered in awe or in infamy. As Ilara and her team emerged into the parallel universe, the city beyond was breathtaking, a stark contrast to their own world's reliance on fossil fuels and fractured politics. Here, energy seemed to be drawn from the air itself, and the people moved with a harmony that bordered on choreographic. The team was greeted by their counterparts, versions of themselves so similar yet so unsettlingly different. Ilara's double, Dr. Maya Ilan, was a celebrated scientist in this world, revered not just for her intellect, but for her role in what they called the Harmony Protocol. As Ilara toured the city, she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. The residents, while polite, had a distant, almost rehearsed demeanor. When she expressed her concerns to Dr. Ilan, the reply was cryptic. "Perfection requires sacrifice, and here we've chosen what we sacrifice carefully." Digging deeper, Ilara uncovered the dark core beneath the utopian facade. The Harmony Protocol was not just a scientific endeavor, but a means of control, biological enhancements that suppressed free will, ensuring compliance and uniform happiness. Her discovery was met with hostility from the Consortium. "You were not sent to judge, Dr. Miles, but to observe and learn," the envoy's voice crackled over her communicator. As Ilara planned her next move, Dr. Ilan confronted her, revealing that the protocol was slated for implementation in Ilara's world, with or without approval. Caught between her moral convictions and her duty to her own universe, Ilara realized the true cost of this technological marvel. She had to act, and quickly. The climax unfolded rapidly as Ilara gathered evidence of the Harmony Protocol's effects and its planned introduction to her world. With her team divided and under. Voiceover, the clock was ticking. Ilara knew she had to act, but she also knew she couldn't do it alone. She needed allies, and she needed them fast. She started by rallying those closest to her, those who had also seen the devastating effects of the Harmony Protocol. They were few in number, but their determination was unshakable. Together, they began to formulate a plan, a rebellion against the Consortium. They knew it wouldn't be easy. The Consortium was powerful, their reach far and wide, but they also knew they had something the Consortium didn't: the truth. As they delved deeper into the planning, they faced numerous challenges and setbacks. They had to operate in secrecy under the ever-watchful eye of the Consortium. Every move they made had to be calculated, every step carefully planned, but with each challenge they faced, their resolve only strengthened. They were a ragtag group of rebels, united by a common cause. They were the underdogs, the ones who dared to challenge the status quo. They had seen the Consortium's true face, and they were ready to expose it to the world. Despite the odds, they were ready to fight for their freedom, ready to turn the tide. For Ilara and her team, the rebellion had just begun. Voiceover. The day of the battle arrived. Ilara and her team were ready, their hearts pounding with anticipation and fear. As the sun rose, they moved into position, their eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of the consortium. They were vastly outnumbered, but they were not deterred. They knew the stakes, they knew what they were fighting for. The battle began in earnest, a fierce clash of wills and wits. Ilara's team, using their intimate knowledge of the Harmony Protocol, exploited its weaknesses, managing to disrupt the consortium's control. There were losses on both sides, each one a blow that reverberated through the battlefield. But Ilara's team held their ground, their determination unwavering. Explosions lit up the sky, a symphony of chaos and destruction. But amidst the turmoil, there was a spark of hope. For the first time, the consortium was on the back foot, their facade of invulnerability shattered. The battle raged on, neither side willing to back down, but as the sun began to set, the battlefield fell into an eerie silence. It was a stalemate. They had shown the consortium that they were not to be underestimated. They had proven that they were willing to fight, to do whatever it took to expose the truth. Their rebellion had not been quashed, but had instead ignited a spark of resistance. As they retreated, battered but not broken, they knew this was just the beginning. Their fight for freedom, for truth, was far from over. In the aftermath of the battle, Ilara and her team regrouped. Their bodies were bruised, their spirits were battered, but their resolve was stronger than ever. They had lost comrades, friends, but they had also gained something. Hope. A hope that was as bright and indomitable as the first rays of dawn piercing the night sky. They began to pick up the pieces, healing their wounds and repairing their defenses. They mourned their losses, each name etched into their hearts, a constant reminder of the price of freedom. But amidst the pain, there was also a sense of determination, a burning desire to ensure that their sacrifices were not in vain. Ilara's team started strategizing, planning their next move. They knew they had only won a battle, not the war. The consortium was still powerful, still a formidable adversary, but they had tasted victory, however fleeting, and it had given them confidence. They began to spread the truth about the Harmony Protocol, sharing their knowledge with the public. They told them about the consortium's manipulation, about the false utopia they had been living in. They told them about the brave souls who had stood up against the consortium, who had fought for their freedom. The public's reaction was mixed. Some were skeptical, some were angry, others were frightened, but many started questioning the consortium, their faith in the Harmony Protocol shaken. The seeds of doubt had been planted and they were starting to take root. As Ilara looked out over the horizon, her heart filled with a mixture of sorrow and pride, she knew this was just the beginning. The battle was over, but the war had just begun. The rebellion was far from over. It was only getting started. The second battle was inevitable. This time, Ilara's team was not just fighting for themselves, but for their entire universe. The consortium, with their backs against the wall, pulled out all the stops. They unleashed their most powerful weapons, their most ruthless soldiers. The battle was fierce, brutal, and unrelenting, but so were Ilara and her team. They fought with every ounce of their strength, every fiber of their being. Their determination was unyielding, their spirits indomitable. With a clever strategy and relentless courage, Ilara's team managed to infiltrate the consortium's headquarters. They navigated through the labyrinth of corridors, evading traps and engaging in skirmishes. Their goal was singular, to shut down the Harmony Protocol, and they succeeded. With a triumphant surge of power, the Harmony Protocol was deactivated, freeing the universe from the consortium's manipulations. The battle ended with Ilara's team victorious, but at a great cost. Their losses were heavy, their spirits drained. They had won, but the victory was bittersweet. The sounds of celebration were drowned out by the echoes of mourning. But they had achieved what they set out to do. They had freed their universe from the consortium's grasp. The second battle was over, but their fight was far from finished. They had won a crucial victory, but the war was still raging on, and they were ready to face whatever came next. With the Harmony Protocol shut down, a new dawn broke over Ilara's universe. It was a dawn of hope, a dawn of freedom, and most importantly, a dawn of new beginnings. Ilara and her team, despite their heavy hearts and the scars of battle, did not rest. They plunged headfirst into the task of rebuilding their universe. They utilized their knowledge, their skills, their experiences, everything they had learned in their fight against the consortium, to create a better future. They worked tirelessly, helping to heal the wounds of war and lay the foundations of a new era. Ilara, in the quiet moments, found herself reflecting on her journey. She remembered the choices she had made, the sacrifices, the losses, and the victories. It was a journey that had changed her, shaped her, and defined her. She realized that despite everything, despite the pain and the heartache, she would do it all over again. Because it was not just about saving her universe, it was about finding her purpose, her place in the grand scheme of things. As she stood at the precipice of this new beginning, she knew that she had not just saved her universe from the consortium's grasp. She had also found herself. She had discovered her strength, her courage, her resolve. She had learned that she was more than just a rebel. She was a leader, a beacon of hope, a symbol of resistance. And she was ready to guide her universe into this new era. The second battle was over, and a new journey was about to begin. It was the dawn of a new beginning, and Ilara was ready to embrace it with open arms.